Hello everybody, this is Pearlescent Pisces, and today we're doing a pick a crystal reading. This is completely intuitively picked, so pick which crystal you are drawn to, and we will do a past, present, and future reading on you. Go ahead and intuitively tune in. Okay. And just before we get into this, if you do not know what a past and present future reading is, basically I bring up a past problem that happened within you that is affecting you now. That is, however you're acting in the now is going to predict how your future is going to turn out. And there's going to be a lot of advice in these readings for you. So yeah, I guess I'll see you at your pile. Hello, pile 1. You chose this little crystal over here. Well, I don't know what this crystal is. I just found it in my selenite bowl, so kudos to you for picking this, I guess. Kudos for sharing. That's a Drag Race reference, excuse me. Okay, give me a moment. What is going on with their past? I see. What is going on with their present based on this past? I see, okay. And what is going on with their future based on this present? Let's see. As I go along, I will draw more clarification cards if needed. So, looks like we got the 5 of Cups for what was happening in your past. We got 3 of Cups for what's happening in your now. And based on what's happening in your now, here's what's going to happen in the future, predictability-wise. So give me one moment to read this. What? I asked what was this 5 of Cups about, and I got Strength in reverse and 7 of Wands in reverse. I see. So it looks like in the past you could have suffered through a pretty disappointing situation, whether that would be through a relationship, a job, something lost, like a loss of something, right? But it's more so like pointing towards a relationship, because I asked, okay, well, what's going on with the 5 of Cups here? And we got Strength in reverse, which basically means, being a little pessimistic about yourself, more so like, being insecure and like thinking that you don't have not thinking that you don't have confidence, you lack in self-confidence. You're being insecure, and not only that, but you're turning into your insecurity and these feelings of feeling like you can't be confident, you can't be the shit, you can't be the queen. I feel like in turn you're kind of lashing out on people, or you could be dealing with the person this way. Honestly, I don't get that vibe. I get the vibe that maybe because of this disappointing situation you've been through, or because of what you're going through in the past, right, you kind of turned into somebody who became insecure with themselves, and who was once a queen, right? As we see, how she's holding a fucking lion. Yeah, she's cunty as hell. However, because she's reversed, she's kind of like, damn, I don't know, should I be holding this lion? I don't know how to explain it. Where it's like, no, I don't explain it. Basically, you're just insecure, right? Basically, something happened, probably a relationship, that made you feel insecure. And not only that, but 7 of Wands also plays into that factor of feeling like insecure. Yeah, again, insecure is just really yelling through my brain. It's just I feel like you felt overwhelmed and tired and just like, I can't fucking deal with this no more, I can't take this no more. And again, it could be with a singular person, right? Most likely romantic. Of course, it's gonna be platonic. Dealing with a difficult person that made you feel insecure, or made you feel like sad in some sort, where it's like, fuck, man, I'm tired. And it could also be multiple people as well, because Seven of Wands is like, that's you, right? You're fighting with multiple people right now. Like, they're all like, bah, bah, and you're like, no, motherfucker, leave me alone. So anyways, like, yeah, I'm just getting that something happened with a particular person, or maybe multiple people, where it's just a disappointing and sad entire situation. So that's what I am getting. Excuse the bugs, if you can see some tiny bugs on my thing. I'm outside. I like reading outside with nature. Sue me. Anyways. So yeah, basically that is what's happening with your past. So based on your past, what is happening with your present? And we have 3 of Cups. What was the situation? Before we go on to the 3 of Cups, I wanted to ask what was the situation. So I got 9 of Swords in reverse and 6 of Cups upright. So based immediately off what I can get right here, right? The 6 of Cups usually means a family member or somebody that brings you nostalgia, and if not a family member, then somebody like maybe like a high school sweetheart, or like somebody from your childhood that you ended up being romantic with. But clearly something didn't go well, you know. I'm asking what didn't go well. Okay, so immediately I'm getting, this is a situationship going on, right? Because Knight of Swords in reverse suggests being impulsive and like lacking direction, right? Not really having a plan in mind, especially when compared with the 6 of Cups, which is literally about, you know, nostalgia. It gives me the vibe of you growing up with somebody, right? Growing up with somebody maybe from high school, childhood, middle school, whatever, right? Just being around somebody for a while that makes you feel nostalgic, but you and this person are kind of like on a back and forth, you know, like, oh, are we gonna do it? I don't know. Are we gonna do it? I don't know. So like, it just seems like a lot of like misdirection and a lot of impulsiveness. Like, you know, I mean, I'm attracted to you, so I guess, but then I also get like, you know, I don't know, should we just stay friends? Should we just I don't know, like, again, it's just a lot of like misdirection and a lot of like impulsiveness, and just there's nothing, and I'm guessing like it doesn't feel great, you know. Maybe there's some times it feels great, but a majority of the times obviously it's disappointing. It's very like, what the fuck, you know. And you might have left this person already, or not, maybe not necessarily left, but you might still be in that situation and feeling very, very disappointed in it. So, but because this is in the past, I'm guessing you do feel like you did leave. And if that is the case, congratulations. I'm glad, because that person was probably not meant for you. If that person is still in your life, let's see what's happening in the now, I guess. 3 of Cups. Let's go on with 3 of Cups. What goal is this person working towards? What goal? I see. Okay. So here's what I'm getting. Oh shit. Back. Sorry. Oh. Looks like our light went out. Excuse me. Oh, hot. Okay. Okay. So for your now, it looks like you're getting together with the girls. And if you don't have any little girlfriends, you're getting around with some friends, right? You're like, yeah, let's do this, you know, fuck that bitch, fuck that past relationship, you know, let's get over it, you know, that's what I'm getting. Like, let's get over it, let's have fun, let's party, bitch, you know, that's what I'm getting. And basically, I think there's a problem here, right? I think you're kind of masking behind the let's go out, let's party, bitch. In reality, right, you want to get somewhere, but you're not making success into that, you know. And I asked, you know, where do you want to get? What's your goal? What's going on with you? And it looks like you want to get out of poverty of some sorts. Now, this poverty can be financial, or this could be emotional poverty, or, you know, poverty in the spiritual sense, where it's like, you know, you weren't spiritual at some point and you want to get out of that. You want to be abundant in spirituality. You want to be abundant in love and everything. And I'm guessing you want to be abundant in love because of 10 of Cups here. Excuse me. The 10 of Cups, sorry, that's my dog. The 10 of Cups indicates wanting a happy home, a nice love connection with a family, a home, people, family, right? I want a family. I want love. I want a home with the person that I love, right? However, looks like that's not happening here. Well, yeah, it looks like something is hindering you, or maybe either if it's not hindering you, right? If you're making slow progress, at least you're making progress. However, what I'm trying to say is, don't get frustrated if you're going slow, okay? And if you feel like you're not enough, right? If you feel like you are, damn, you know, I suffered through this financial loss, or damn, I suffered through losing this person that I loved and had a connection with. Damn, you know, I'm not making progress in wanting and making a family and creating this life. Although my friends are like, you know, get over it, it's fine, you know, let's kiki, let's caca, right? Let's have fun, let's you know, let's talk. However, the problem is, again, like, behind that mask, you feel like you're not enough. You might feel like you're, how do I say, like you're feeling isolated and alone and not enough. And even though you're with friends, it's like, you know, deep down you feel this way, where it's like, you know, damn, I went through so fucking much, you know, and I just want to get better. I just want to become the 10 of Cups. I want to be happy again, you know. I want to have a family. I want to love, you know. So yeah, I realized it has gotten very dark, so I am going to turn the flash on. I'll be right back. So we now have your future based on what's happening in the now. Okay, so we have 7 of Pentacles. So I'm guessing that there is a financial loss somewhere, maybe through a divorce, right? It could have been a divorce where the disappointing, oh, excuse me, so sorry. The disappointing situation that you could have left was maybe a wealthy partner, right? That you were married to. And this wealthy partner, you know, ended up leaving your life. So basically, you know, you're like, let's hang with the girls, let's hang with my buddies, let's hang with people and just forget about it, right? But in reality, you're kind of like, damn, I need some money, you know? It could be that, but of course also take what resonates. If that does not resonate, then it could be something else, like, you know, falling through a loss of a partner, or falling through a loss of emotional well-being or spirituality, you know, things like that. It could be a loss of anything that's really important to you, but more so I'm getting, again, a relationship. So there's that. Okay. Okay. So it looks like you're working on something, or you you will be working on something, or you are currently working on something, right? Okay, let me be more clear. Excuse me. So if you're looking into a relationship right now, or if you're looking into getting a new partner, or if you end up in the future looking to get a new partner, right? Basically, it looks like you do a lot of work, but it's just not growing the way you want it to. You know what I'm saying? Seven of Pentacles in reverse indicates that you worked really hard in your garden, but it's just like just a bunch of weeds growing out of it. Like, what the fuck? Why is there a bunch of weeds growing out of it? I put all my effort and time and energy into that. Why is it not turning out the way that I want it to? It could be, again, it could be anything. Honestly, it could be a job that you're working on to go towards, you know. It could be a partner that you want, you know. Basically, whatever you're reaching, whatever this goal is, you're not really succeeding in it based on what's happening in the now. This is the future based on what's happening in your now. And with the Temperance in reverse, right, because I asked for more clarification, what was this thing that you were working so hard on and everything like that? It could genuinely just be yourself as well, right? You could just be working on yourself, and obviously something is going wrong where you're working on yourself but you're not healing, you know, like the way you want to. That could also be a very big indicator. I'm getting that as well as relationship. So the main vibe I'm getting here is that you might be working on a new relationship. You might have done so much to it, you know, to try and make it work, but something is just not clicking, you know, or it's not going as fast as you want it to be. And Temperance in reverse suggests that right now you might be feeling like something's not right, something is off, like I don't like this shit, you know. And it's valid, sure, you went through a lot, you know, and you just want to get better, you know, you want to get better in the way you know how. And the Temperance is like saying, it's also a warning card. It's like, you know, in reverse, hey, you're filling that cup a little too much, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get a little personal here, and if you do have an addiction, whether that's, you know, through sex, relationships, you know, getting into relationships on and off, you know, alcohol, if you are addicted to any of those things or excessively doing these things, it is calling for you to stop. It's calling for you to become in sobriety. And that literally could be sobriety from sex, sobriety from TV, sobriety from things that consume your life that are not for your highest good. And yeah, basically that's it. You're gonna work on something that ends up failing or ends up being really slow in progress. And if you retaliate, right, by drinking alcohol or, you know, trying to find some sort of way to numb the pain, right? It doesn't have to be alcohol, it doesn't have to be drugs. The addiction can be literally anything, whatever. Bitch, it could be drywall. You could be eating drywall. But basically, you do not have to be in this addiction sphere, and they actually urge you to get out of that addiction sphere, at least for now, so you can reevaluate what you need to learn for yourself right now. Maybe not necessarily learn, it's the best word, more so what you need to feel. Heal as much as you can right now. Reevaluate yourself and ask yourself, why am I drinking? Why am I drinking at 2 p.m. right now? The hell? Why am I smoking weed? I don't need to go to bed right now. You know, why am I smoking weed throughout the whole day? That's weird, you know. Not weird necessarily, but that's... Call yourself out is what I'm trying to say. Call yourself out and try to balance out what you're doing. You don't necessarily have to become 100% sober. And it's... You know, they're calling for you to be sober. Yes, they want you to be 100% sober. However, they're not going to be unrealistic about it, where it's like, be sober tomorrow. You know, that's hard. If you can learn how to limit yourself, at least limit yourself, and at least keep things in a little bit more moderation, things will go out really well for you. So let's ask the universe again. So let's ask them, what is the overall message you want to leave this viewer? What is the overall message? 5 of Wands in reverse. Oh, Oh, so this was a very weird experience I just had, but I had felt something clench my leg right here. I was like, what the fuck was that? So I looked down, and apparently there was this justice card in reversed that I did not see. And later it was like, hey, we need you to tell them this card as well. So okay. By the way, I'm sensing a lot of major arcanas in here, and I just want you to know, if you're feeling very intense feelings, or feeling this is a very intense situation, you're valid for feeling that. It is okay for feeling the way you feel. And the universe is just wanting you to hear this message very clearly. And they all want you to, all they want for you is just for you to feel good. You know, just for you to feel like you're in your highest self and you're in alignment with the spiritual path you're supposed to be on. And hey, you found this video, so you might be just that, you know? Okay. The Five of Wands in reverse. Let's see. Okay. So here's the last message they want to leave with you. And basically they want to say, either you're dealing with a person that is very unfair to deal with. Very, like a, oh God, I have to deal with this person again, you know, like a very, the person you might be dealing with a person that is literally just very difficult to deal with, and you might have some inner conflicts about even confronting this person about how they're acting, right? Or if you do not resonate with that, you could also be the opposite. Basically, you could be the person that's being unfair, and others may find it hard to be around you. I'm trying to say that in the softest way I possibly can. Basically, you might have some anger issues, you know, bubbling beneath the surface, right? And it's quite hard to, talk with other people because other people are kind of scared to talk to you, you know? And, but at the same time, I feel like you have this bitey personality, or like, you know, you bite at others, but in reality, you just kind of feel insecure, you know? Where in reality, you're just like, you know, I'm gonna bite at other people because I don't really feel confident in myself, nor so can I accept responsibility or accept personal, I can't take accountability, basically. And again, this could be you, or this could be somebody else. I'm getting both vibes, honestly. I'm getting the vibes that some people may need a reality check. And if you are the person that needs a reality check, I'm going to say this in a very soft way, because again, well, not very soft way. I'm going to say this in a soft way while also not sugarcoating it. I have been this bitch many times, right? I have been this person where I'm just like, you know, fuck everybody else. I'm right, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to listen to you, right? However, we're kind of not being fair to other people. People are people. We all have our own flaws, our own arguments, you know, all these things. So, I am just saying that if you find yourself constantly arguing with a partner or a family member or a friend, and you feel yourself kind of being like, you know, I can't do no wrong, kind of reevaluate yourself and rethink about why you're saying that. You know, are you saying that because you're scared of accountability, you know, or taking responsibility for something? Or are you just, it's just some childhood thing, you know, that's coming up? So just take some time to reevaluate yourself, you know. I have a feeling that if you are being this way towards other people, that the people that you're being this way to love you, and they don't want to see you go down that path. And honestly, it is never wrong to say I'm sorry, regardless if somebody accepts it or not. If you are accidentally hurting somebody based off, you know, for example, BPD, you know, or bipolar, or some type of mood disorder, bitch, like, it's not an excuse, but it is something that happens because we have these things, you know. So apology is never wrong, and if somebody doesn't accept that apology, they are not wrong for that either. However, again, if you do not resonate with what I just said, you might be the person that is dealing with a difficult person, like I was describing. You know, you might be dealing with somebody that is actively being an asshole or being unfair, and you know, being around them is kind of draining, and you can't talk to them, and you have this inner conflict inside you where you can't talk to them about it because they're gonna be bitey and stabby, you know. So if you are feeling that way, let me ask the universe, actually, what do I do? Sun and the High Priestess. 2 major arcana here. This is a lot of intense energy. Excuse me. Okay, so basically, if you're dealing with a situation like this, right, regardless of whether you're the Justice card or the 5 of Wands, right, basically, if you're the difficult person, or if you're the person fighting this difficult person, or not trying to fight this difficult person, the advice they want you to have, regardless of who you are, is tap into that femininity, regardless of your gender. You can be a they, them, you can be a he, him, she, her, z, whatever, right? You can be whatever gender you want to be. And still you can divinely tap into femininity. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you've been hardworking, which is masculine energy, right? And I mean, of course, femininity is hardworking. It's just different, where you're kind of more doing manual labor, and femininity, in my brain, at least in the tarot readings, in my tarot reading brain, kind of deals with more so like connecting with your inner beauty and connecting with your, just feeling your oats, you know, like feeling pretty, I'm just a soft little lady, you know, I'm gonna collect eggs in the forest, and, you know, and I'm not saying that to sound misogynistic. I am saying that to just frolic in the forest, you know. You can be a fucking man, you can be a they, them, again, a she, her, whatever. Frolic in the forest, you know? Like, be in touch with your intuition, you know? Connect with yourself, all these things, like meditate, you know? You are a powerful person. I have this feeling that you are spiritual. I mean, clearly you've clicked on a tarot reading video. Or if you're not spiritual and you're just like, you know, I'm gonna give it a try. I sense that you have a lot of spirituality inside you that you can uncover. And once you do so, like, once you start connecting with your femininity, once you start connecting with how beautiful you are, regardless of that's inside, outside, both, whatever. Once you start connecting with how beautiful and gorgeous you are, you're gonna have the Sun, bitch, which is basically a happiness card, you know. Once you get in alignment with yourself, once you get in alignment with your higher self and what the universe wants you to do, once you get in alignment with your highest good, you will be rewarded with the Sun. You will be rewarded with happiness and rest, you know. Like, you'll be rewarded with great abundance of love and happiness. Love platonically, most likely, but love regardless, you know, love that you need. So yeah. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. So, you chose this. Oh, it's actually really pretty. It's really pretty. Blue crystal. Again, I don't know these crystals. I don't know what these are. I just kind of randomly picked them. However, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just more so what you intuitively felt. Okay. Excuse me. We're now going to do a past, present, and future reading for you all. What is this past and future that this viewer is going through? What is this person going through in the past? It's affecting the present. I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention. I switched locations, so that's why it looks a little different. In the first part of this video, I was actually outside, and I had to change locations to inside my room, so it's a little different, but and I actually don't have a light in my room. It's a lot to explain right now. Basically, my bulb went out, and I haven't been able to replace it yet. So I'm using my phone flash, and that's okay. If you can't handle it, don't look at the screen. just listen, okay? All right. What is the okay, so we have the Three of Cups for what's happening in your past in the verse, and then what is that past affecting the now is Queen of Cups, and Page of Swords is affecting. Okay, these two came out as well. I don't know where they line up in this reading, but the Two of Pentacles and Queen of Swords came out as well. We're gonna put these to the side for now, and I will read that after I read these whole things. And of course, we do pull, I do pull more cards for more clarification if needed. So don't expect just these 3 cards, honestly. Expect a lot. Okay, so what is this person's I didn't need it wrong. Okay. Okay, so immediately off the bat, right? So I'm trying to be as general and broad as I possibly can, because obviously this is a YouTube video, not a personal reading, so I want to connect to more people if possible. However, this feels more specific to me, and if you have found this video and you really relate to it, then or really resonate with the problem that I'm presenting. Not necessarily a problem. Well, problem, you know, because this is kind of a problem. Again, not in your now, but in your past, right? It doesn't matter how far in the past, as long as it's like in the past, you know, it's in the past. So if you resonate with this, then I think this is this video was really made for you. And you should stay to the end of this pile reading, because honestly, there is probably some good advice in this. Anyways, let me just get to it. So, the Three of Cups in reverse, right, kind of signifies alone time, needing alone time from a group of people, right? And in some cases, right, especially in relationship cases, it could mean as well that somebody is interrupting your relationship, and for some reason it's screaming married. I feel like you are involved with a married man, or Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting. It's just like, because the King of Cups in reverse is a very masculine energy. Like, always, like a king is always like masculine energy to me. But the fact that he's a King of Cups, right? Because he's a cup, I view cups as more emotional and feminine, right? So I feel like the King of Cups in reverse is signifying a man who is very, very manipulative, very abusive in some sorts. Maybe not physically, but very emotionally, where it's like the things he says is disgusting, right? The things he says is pretty upsetting. If not, then this is just a man who was manipulative in general, right? Maybe, right, for example, as to what I'm getting a call to, maybe you're in a relationship with this man who is currently married with somebody else, right? Because there's somebody interrupting your little Three of Cups here, which makes you want to go into alone time and retreat from that. Maybe you don't, you're just not comfortable with it, or it's like, what the fuck, you know? Three's a crowd. Why are you there, you know? And the Knight of Swords in reverse. Yeah, it's like, I think maybe if you are in a relationship like this, or were in a relationship like this, I think the tarot is saying that this man is not divorcing his little wife, you know? This man is not doing the things that you want him to do. He's not asking you on the date. He's not asking you, he's not dropping his previous wife or the person that's involved out of this relationship so you two can prosper. Again, that's a very specific problem. However, if you do resonate with that, great. If you don't, then let me try to read this differently. I do know that this is really, like, something in your past was really calling for you to have alone time. Like, you needed to isolate yourself. And I think the reason why you needed to isolate yourself was this King of Cups in reverse. So whether that's a relationship, married man, whatever, it could be anybody, honestly. For some reason, I was specifically being called to a married relationship. However, you don't have to always be in one. This could be a man who was a father, who was very upsetting to be around. He's very manipulative, you know, and it's kind of leading you to burnout, where it's like, I can't keep dealing with this person and dealing with everything else in my life, you know, and I can't keep being this strong person who holds a sword, and like, you know, I can't keep being a strong person when I'm getting my energy's getting actively drained by this man who was just manipulative and evil in some sort. Maybe not evil. If you don't believe in, like, people can be evil, that's fine. But this man is just bad energy, right? He does not give, he gets cunning and manipulative, right? Because there's different types of abuse, in my opinion. Well, not in my opinion, it's kind of obvious. Anyways, there's different kind of abuse, right? And in my opinion, this is like one of the more sick abuses, where it's like, because there's abuse people do out of anger, and then there's abuse people do out of manipulation and like cunning shit. And I feel like he's that one that does that weird shit, you know? I mean, both of them are weird shit. But it feels like he's like somebody who's actively malicious with his intentions, you know? If that doesn't resonate with you, then I don't have to tell you. I'm sorry. You can stay for the rest of the reading if this connects, but honestly, that's what the only That's the only, like, big message I'm receiving from this, is just needing alone time. And because of, oh, whoops, just needing alone time and becoming burnt out by something. And I'm thinking that something could also just be a difficult person that you're dealing with, right? Rather romantically, platonically. It literally just can be somebody who is just an asshole. You know? Okay, so let's go on to the Queen of Cups. Who is this Queen of Cups? Okay, so this is giving more weight to the theory of this being not a romantic relationship, but more so a relationship where it has to do with childhood problems. Okay, so I'm getting a few things from this, and I'm going to read what I have, right? So, first things first is I have a feeling that this could be a father figure in your life. As of right now, right? Because of what you went through. And this could also relate back to if you were in a relationship with a married person, or in a relationship with somebody in general who has something on the side, right? If you had resonated with that reading, what this could mean is basically you've moved on from the Emperor in reverse, which is basically a man who is sitting on his throne and acting like he's the shit, right? Overuse of his own power, overuse of, you know, shit like that. It could mean a manager, a boss, whatever, but honestly I'm getting father. It could be a father figure, or again, an abusive man, right, in power, sorry. So, it feels like you got over this abusive man in power, right? Or you're in the current process of getting over him. And in the midst of that, right, I feel like you're a very, very, very spiritual person where you have magic literally flowing around you abundantly, right? You are literally super abundant in magic and in spirituality, excuse me. So, right now is a good period for you. That's what I'm getting. Like, right now is a very good period for you, at least very creatively and intuitively. I mean, if you're like deeply resonating with this video so far, then that could be, you know, the case where it's like a confirmation that your intuition is off the charts right now. You chose this video for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So, this also could mean, though, as well, that you are the Emperor in reverse, and this might be for more rare cases, I think. This is not really a scream, but it's like more so like a soft whisper in my ear. You could be the Emperor in reverse, right? To where you used to be this way because of the situation, where the situation made you feel like shit. I mean, that kind of confirms, right, with the back of the deck being, Ten of Swords, right, which is just like, you're stabbed on the ground, bitch, like, you're tired, and you're like, fuck, you know. So, I feel like you've overcome that, right, which is, the star is actually about that, or you're in the process, again, of overcoming something like this, overcoming being the Emperor, right, because, again, you don't necessarily have to, this doesn't necessarily have to be somebody in your life. It literally can be you. Again, I feel like that's more rare cases. However, if that is you, if the Emperor is you, somebody who was abusive back, maybe, and somebody who was really, really authoritative and putting their authority in places that it should have been. If you were somebody like that, then I think it's saying that if you're still like that, right, if you're currently like that, you shouldn't be, because you have so much magic and flow and love brewing within inside you. And they're saying to really tap in and tune into that, you know, tap in and tune into your inner therapist. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, if you have friends and family around you that you love and care about, and you are currently the Emperor in reverse, they're asking you to tap into being somebody who's very, very nurturing and caring for other people while also not taking on their emotional baggage. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I feel that it's like a rare, specific-ish reading to somebody, you know? But if you resonate with that, then that's good. Anyways. But yeah, I basically feel like this is either an authoritative figure. An authoritative can be your father figure, a boss. But because of this reading, right, and because of the context, because I'm picking up from the past, I think either it's a father, yourself, or that significant other that you were messing with, you know, that has somebody else on the side. I think maybe you're currently getting over him, or at least you have gotten over him, and you have now become somebody who is nurturing and caring and kind to people. And they're saying that, look at this, like, I cannot stress enough how magical both these cards look, you know? So both of these cards look, oops, sorry, I burned myself a little bit. Both of these cards look very magical. These women know what the fuck they're doing. They're like, look, I can't, like, sorry, for the people who are not watching this, and just listening to this, I'll describe it. So the Queen of Cups is sitting on a sparkling rock with stars in her hair and then flowing into the ocean. And she holds a cup, abundance in magic, right? And then not only that, but the star, right, which you also got to describe who you were, is surrounded in stars, sparkles. Her cups are overflowing, and she's just sitting there like a natural, how do I explain this? Like a princess. Like, it feels like very like Princess Pisces energy, where it's like very whimsical and magical. That's what it's feeling like. So I think you're a very, very spiritual person, and you're very spiritually in tune with yourself, and that's a good thing. So, and they're saying, like, you know, really tap into it right now. That is a good thing, you know. Okay, so what's going on in your future? Okay, so what a beautiful reading. Sorry. Because I feel like you've gone through so much, right? Again, Ten of Swords being still in the back of the deck. You have gone through so much, but you became somebody beautiful, right? Where you can become somebody beautiful. You're like right at that tip where you literally are, you have that tip where it's like, what I'm saying tip, it's like a tip of a cliff, right? The edge of a cliff, sorry. It's weird to say tip. I am so sorry about this. My mechanism that holds my phone up above my head ended up falling on top of my cards. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Anyways, as I was saying, it feels like if you're not at this point yet where you feel like the Queen of Cups, right? I think they're saying that you can really get there. However, I feel like you already are in that position where you're feeling like you're at your creative highest, and your intuition is flowing with greatness. And if that is the case, I feel like in the future, right, because of you healing from the situation that happened, and getting your alone time, right? I feel like because you gained that, you became somebody who was ready It feels like you have this project you want to do. And I feel like this project has to do with social media. It feels like you have, it could be social media or public speaking in any way, right? I feel like you have a voice or you have a creative vision you want to share. And it might be your own tarot reading channel, just like I did, right? The universe is telling you to go for it. Whatever this project is, whatever this thing you want to do is, this could also be, you know, pursuing a new relationship. However, I don't see that, honestly. I see more so this is a personal goal. And I am seeing that in the future, right? Because you have become somebody so healed and somebody so spiritually endowed, you have the opportunities at hand and the right ability to really bring this somewhere. Yeah, that's what it's saying to me. Where it's like, you know, there is progress going to be made. And you can become more self-confident in this because of this, you know. You've been through a lot. You went through, basically, because the Six of Wands is right after the Five of Wands, right? And the Five of Wands is about a fight. You've just been through a big-ass fight. You've just been through a lot, right? Maybe not just been, because that was all in the past. But you've been through a lot, and you've worked hard to heal yourself. And in turn, you're now rewarded. You are now, but I want to make this very clear. You were rewarded, but you gave yourself the reward, if that makes sense. Nobody handed this to you. You did this. Like, I'm getting a very strong energy here, where it's like, oh, you are a powerful ass bitch. You know, you are somebody with power. You are literally this girl that is sitting on this horse, right, with the wand in her hand. She has power. When she walks in her room, people notice her. And like, there's even like a man right here, like, I don't know if he's peeking at her, carrying her wands for her. Regardless, right? You are somebody people look at. You are somebody people go, whoa, that is a gorgeous woman. That is a gorgeous person. You know, you don't have to be a woman. I'm just getting a lot of feminine energy from this deck. Anyways, you just remind me of somebody who is very, you are very powerful. And this project that you want to complete is something that the universe is calling you to complete, okay? So that's all for that. And I'm not going to read these two cards that came out earlier. I think you're going to be, hold on, let me see. I'm pretty sure it was this way. Give me a second. But they also want you to be very mindful. You can be confident in yourself, as you should be. You've worked hard to get here. However, you are not at the finish line yet, okay? So you still have some work to do. There's still obstacles in the way, most likely, if you are pursuing a career or a career in public speaking or social media, or if you're trying to focus on, you know, making something out of a hobby. Just know you can be in flow with your abundance, but also stand very sharply. Like, you know, be prepared if another obstacle is coming. And if another obstacle does come, it's just life, you know? It is just life. It's not something to attack you. It is just something that only helps you grow. Okay, so these two cards that came out, Two of Pentacles and Queen of Swords. So basically what they're saying is, what I'm getting called to is, if you can be handling this business, you could be handling this business very well, right? However, you might have an introduction or somebody else in your life right now that you also have to balance. That could be children, that could be a family, and that could be maybe children's family and a new person. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're just dealing with a lot. And they're saying you're balancing it very well. However, in order to balance it well and keep it balanced, you have to know, you have to kind of sit there and think to yourself, you know, okay, am I prioritizing one thing too much in my life when I need to prioritize something else? Or, you know, is everything in balance and is everything okay? And I'm guessing that everything is in balance and it is okay. However, if you get too cocky and don't kind of breathe when you need to breathe, right? If you think that you can handle everything when you really can't, there is a crashing ocean behind you, you know? So don't let that crashing ocean affect you. Just be in balance and be in tune with things, which I think you are right now, which is good, especially with money. Your money is very it's like flowing very well. And the Queen of Swords also says to be somebody who has strict boundaries, because especially if you are handling another person in your life while also handling like your business inquiries, you know, your passions, all these things, just make sure you're quick to defend your boundaries, and you're quick to be somebody who's very very mature. Be with somebody who's mature. Be with somebody who can handle the adult things that you're going through. Be with somebody who can help you balance all these things, you know? And if that person can help you balance it and turns out to be somebody who was like from your past, or this person tends to cross your boundaries very often, please cut that person out. Do you know what I'm saying? Please cut that person out. If you do feel like a person is crossing your boundaries, this could be romantic, platonic, anything, right? Whatever person that is coming into your life, if they do start crossing your boundaries, just make sure you are the Queen of Swords. That's not gonna fly with me, you know? No, we're not doing that today. That's exactly what I get the vibe of. As, you know, you have to kind of scold them. Not necessarily, you scold them in the way that you want, you know? Just be very, very clear and very affirmative on why your boundaries were set and why you do not cross them, you know? So yeah. I feel like that is all the universe wants you to know for this time. Again, if you have a project right now, go for it, pursue it. You have the creative tools and abilities to do so. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. We are going to, I guess, be focused on this little red crystal. Gander to the gander. Okay. We'll be doing a past, present, and future reading for you today. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Let's see. Okay, so. Two, okay. So I got 2 for your past. Alright, let's see. What else? Okay. Alright, what is going on with your future based on this now? What's going on in your future based on this Okay, so you got Five of Swords in reverse, and the Moon in reverse for your past. You got the Hierophant and Eight of Wands for your now, and then you also have Page of Swords in reverse for your future, based on what's going on in your now. Just want to make it clear off the bat immediately. I feel like a disappointing situation, maybe internally, had happened. And in the middle, it's just kind of, in your now, I feel like you've been very, you're very fast in something. Who is this person that we're fighting? Okay, so looks like in the past, right, because of the Five of Swords in reverse, right, I feel like there was this inner conflict with yourself and a physical conflict with somebody else, right? Physical could mean just talking, you know, like, why you do that, blah, 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 why you do that, you know? It doesn't necessarily mean fighting. It just means, you know, I think you're fighting within yourself and fighting somebody else as well. And maybe not, I think maybe it's just like, it could be exhausted fighting. Because it's like, I get the sense that, move this to the side for a second. I get the sense that you are in a relationship, and this relationship can be platonic, romantic, a father-mother figure. You were in this relationship that was very tiring. Arguments always, you know. You had arguments with each other. You had a lot of signs to get out of this relationship. Maybe that was through dreams. Maybe that was through spiritual messages. But you had a lot of signs to get out of this relationship because it was not serving you. And especially because you wanted to get out of it yourself. Like, I feel like you didn't want to keep going along with this. Honestly, I'm getting a specific message as well. You may be a mother or a parent in some sort who was dealing with an abusive relationship, maybe the baby daddy, the father of this person, simply just because, or like a grandmother or something. Maybe that person was fighting you, or yeah, again, a partner. Because I see a pregnant woman here with a belly, and I see a child with somebody else as they're leaving somebody, you know? So if that resonates with you, that resonates with you. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't take it. However, I feel like some of you out there, or maybe a very specific person who has touched this crystal as their intuition guided them to it, I feel like somebody here had to leave somebody because they didn't want to put their child through that situation anymore, nor themselves. And again, I think the spirits, like in the past, the spirits are really giving you that go ahead to leave because it was not serving you. And again, this doesn't have to be, again, a pregnant relationship. It literally just could be a rebirth of some sort, you know. But I'm just saying, a pregnant relationship with a person, and then obviously you have a child moving forward, and you can't stay with somebody who is like that, you know. You can't stay with somebody who is so abusive and somebody who doesn't take care of you, you know. So that's what I got from the past, is that, you know, you were dealing with a difficult relationship and you wanted to move on from that relationship, and you were getting signs, like spiritual signs, you know, from dreams, messages, numbers, whatever. You were getting spiritual signs that the path you needed to be on was to leave this person, because this person was not for your highest good and they weren't respecting you. The back of the deck being literally Three of Swords, which is heartbreak and betrayal and just not good shit, you know what I'm saying? Even if it was reversed, right, which I don't think it was reversed, it's still, like, internally conflicting, you know, like, it's just, again, you're internally conflicted with the situation that was in the past, and you were also, like, I need to get the fuck out of here, you know what I'm saying? And I think that was the case, because we have the Hierophant and the Eight of Wands, which the Eight of Wands is a very much traveling card. Physical travel, internal travel, you know what I'm saying? Give me a second. You know what's crazy? You might be religious, okay? And the reason why I say that's crazy is because, I was getting this strong vibe that somebody was religious in this deck. Or not deck, reading, I'm sorry. And a strong vibe that somebody was religious in this reading before I even started it. I just didn't say anything until, obviously, I confirmed that. But the Hierophant kind of confirms that there's somebody religious here. Either you're religious or you want to become religious, or you're studying that particular religion, or whatever religion you're studying. You are studying your religion. You know what I'm saying? And that could be spirituality as well. Okay. Okay. Okay, so here's what I'm getting. You could be a highly spiritual person, religious person, regardless, you know, one of them. Or you could be seeking apprenticeship in that. You could be seeking to, I feel like faith is a big thing here, where faith is a part of your life in some way, you know, whether you are already religious and already mastery in it, or you're starting to learn it, you know. Regardless, if things are moving fast in your life right now, you're feeling valid, you know, for one, that everything's going fast. For two, it's a good fast, I'm gonna tell you that right now, because I feel like you've gotten out of the situation, and honestly, you've been re-energized because of that reason. I feel like because you got out of the situation, you feel like you can take on the world, which you can, but it's just telling you, you know, while you were on that journey, make sure give me a moment. Okay. As things are moving fast, right? And as you're learning things, or as new events enter your life, right? As new things enter your life, whether that be a project, whether that be college, or whether that would be going to school for a very specific craft that you do. Regardless of how you feel, you should always scratch that out, Phoenix. Scratch that out. Give me a moment. Let me rethink these. I know what they're saying, but I don't at the same time. Let me ask this. Let's see. I feel like you're working hard towards a new persona. I feel like you've been hurt in the past, right? This person has been stabbed 10 times, right? You've been hurt in the past, maybe more than once, but this one is really what's affecting you here. You've been hurt in the past maybe more than once. And because you've been hurt in the past, I think you don't want to be that person anymore when you get stabbed over and over. I think you want to get up off the ground. So I think that's where the Eight of Wands come in. And the Eight of Wands are signifying you to, I want to move out of this rut really fast. I don't want to stay in this rut, which is fine, right? That's exactly what the universe wants for you as well. They don't want you to stay in that rut. And I think in retaliation to this, you're trying to become more spiritual, religious, or you're facing faith as somebody, and you're gaining faith, right? Maybe to cope, and if not to cope, because you went through this difficult situation, you have found somebody, right, in your faith, or something in your faith that makes you feel a lot more whole, all right, a lot more receiving of money. Reason why I say that is because Eight of Pentacles means that I feel like you're a hard worker, right? Either you're in the presence of a hard worker who is also teaching you how to be a hard worker, or you are that hard worker, right? And I feel like you are making money for yourself and maybe your child if you do have a child. Just make sure, if you don't get to your 100% mastery skills right then and there, just go with the flow of things. You will get there. You know what I'm saying? Because the Eight of Wands is showing, like, we are traveling through high speeds right now. So, yeah. Just make sure you take care of yourself during this time as well. Balance out your priorities. And this is also another money card. If you do come into some money, which I am guessing you will be because of your skills, if you do come into some money with whatever skills you are mastering, do not hog it to yourself. Do not have an unhealthy relationship with money. Make sure you are giving it when you need to give it away. Spend it when you need to spend it. And saving when you need to save. Don't put all your energy into just saving money. Don't put all your energy into just spending money. Balance it out, for a proper life. Okay. So it looks like big things are happening in your now. So yeah, I'm pretty happy for you. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself, okay? There's a lot of swords in this deck. I don't know what it is you want to do here, but you shouldn't listen to your inner insecurities. And that inner insecurity can be, you know, I'm too old to be doing this, or I don't know if I should, or I don't know, you know, I don't know, I'd rather do that in private, I don't know. Leave that belief system and thought pattern away, you know what I'm saying? Again, there's a lot of back of the deck messages in here, but you have 2 of Wands here, which I kind of see as 2 decisions you can make. You hold the world in your hands, you hold a very special ball in your hands. And you're just kind of looking for where to place that ball at, that energy. And you should release those negative thought patterns and negative systems in your brain and your the insecurities you feel, right? You should just genuinely, let's ask how you can get over that, you know, how can you... Okay, Queen of Wands. I see. And I feel like there's a lot of swords in this deck. Not deck, reading. There's a lot of swords in this reading. And that really might indicate that you're going through a lot of pain during this time, right? You're going through a lot of pain, or you're stabbing people in the process of healing and in the process of making your life something different. I feel like you're more so in pain, though, and you're keeping it private to yourself. And let's see what the Queen of Wands say. I asked, you know, what can you do to lessen... If you're looking for a new career, or looking into creating a social media profile that has to do with something creative-wise, I think you should go for it, and you should not listen to your inner critic. You are a charming person. You're sweet and warm and nurturing. It's just, you're going through so much insecurities and going through so much, you know, oh, I can't do it because of this reason, I can't do it because of that reason. You know, I feel like you're going through so much of that you tend to forget that you are a queen, you know? You are somebody who is very gifted. You're a very gifted person, and they're asking you to seek independence as well. Don't be dependent on another person, you know, don't fall back into that past where, you know, oh, you know, I maybe need a man or a partner to support me during this time. Well, that's great and all. You're the Hierophant and the Queen, bitch. Like, you can do this by yourself. You don't need to listen to your inner insecurities and all these things, because honestly, you were that bitch. You were you have a very bright light to shine onto others, whether that's through friendship or through a new career and getting to know new friends, or, you know, creating a public social media profile where you get in contact with other people. Just be bold in what you do, you know. Be like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it because I have the power and the talent to do so, you know. You do have the power, you do have the talent. You have all these things in your grasp. But yeah, just make sure you don't burn yourself out in the process of doing these things. Again, life is moving very fast for you, and in the midst of this moving fast, you just need to remember, again, because the Ten of Wands is on the back of the deck, a lot of back of the deck messages coming through. A lot of the back of the deck messages coming through with the Ten of Wands. Don't stress yourself out. Do not overload your workload, okay? Again, balance is very important here. So let's ask for any messages they want to give. Yeah, I feel like you're going through a lot of pain right now. got a lot of swords in this reading. Okay, so yeah, I think that confirms that you are going through a lot of pain during this period, regardless of how fast things are going, regardless of how you can do things, regardless of how much money you make, you still are going through a lot of pain. And the universe is really calling you to look through a new perspective here. Look at things through a bigger picture and try to pull things apart one by one. Like, you know, damn, that person cheated on me, fuck, you know, I'm so upset about that, you know, and every partner I come across now, it feels like they're cheating on me. Just know that you need to sit, you know, you're gonna need to sit back, right, and just kind of like, well, is that true, or am I just kind of connecting the past to what's happening now, you know, even though they're not cheating on me, you know, I don't have any evidence that they're cheating on me. It's kind of worrying, it's kind of keeping you up at night and making you have anxiety and depression and all these things, and you just need to let that go. You just really need to let that go. And I know it's easier said than done, but it's not helping you. And if you have any close friends or family members or people that you care about that in turn care about you, I think you should really genuinely go ask them for help. And I feel like you're an independent person where you don't want to ask for help. You're too scared to ask for help for some reason, you know, maybe again your insecurities are yelling at you and screaming at you for some reason to not do something. But again, I think it's saying that people are in your corner, and you might be depressed and sad every night and it's keeping you up at night. However, you have so much skill underneath that this is hindering you in your personal journey. You need to let this go. You need to let this anxiety and fear go. Maybe start meditations, therapy, medications, these things that would help you. Sorry. Just make sure you have a support person, a support guide, you know, even if that guide is faith. Just make sure you don't get into psychosis, you know. That's a very, very, very important message as well. Do not give into psychosis, like spiritual psychosis, religious psychosis, because of how hard you're coping with it. I think you should balance out faith with a supportive person, if you do have that. And if you do not have a supportive person in your life, like a friend or a family member, and you're kind of alone right now, I would suggest seeking therapy or community spaces where you can relate to other people. You know, if you want, shit, you can like type your story out in my comments and maybe somebody will come and see your story and talk about their story, and then their connection is built. So yeah. But I think that's the message they want to leave you with today. A shorter message, but a sweet message. It's just basically take care of yourself. You have a lot of power, a lot of religious power inside yourself. And you have skills to make money. It's just make sure you're not too greedy with that money when you do come across it. And make sure it's in a flow of, it's in a good flow. Make sure it's in a good flow. And not something where you're putting your energy into completely saving your money or into completely spending it. But yeah, thank you for listening to this reading. Hope to see you in a future video.